Greetings, guys. I'm Sudan. I'm here to talk to you about something. Let's see if that clicks on first. We're going to have a screen come up about the song that Lady Gaga has recently got for a movie, and there we are. Take that in as I speak. Don't let that disturb you. Only thanks. Now, everyone knows the lyrics, sort of, but what she's doing there is contributing to a conversation that we've been having lately as human beings. We are in an important time where a lot of things are changing. There's been a lot of things that have been not so right for a very long time. And at this time, we're in a hopeful, important period of humanity where we're changing those things. And I'm going to talk about one of those things. Imagine a castle that we name apathy. It's under siege. They've surrounded us. We're running around. There's a lot of people running around with buckets of water, putting the fires out. And if we stop and actually think about it and be honest, we know this siege has been happening for a long time. We also know that we've been watching it get worse. It's got to the point now that they've surrounded us and they're suffocating us and we're being starved out. We have almost lost the access to empathy. Something needs to change. But we look up in the mountain and on top we see their leader. He's sitting on this nightmare horse. It's not his formidable militia of army. It's not his justified confidence. It's not even that cruel little curl at the end of his disturbing smile that bothers us. What bothers us is that he's completely and utterly indifferent. He sits there and we worry. He's a formidable opponent. He is a conquering emperor. He is ruthless. He has recruited and converted more than Genghis Khan could have imagined. He does it with ease and greater reach. We named him apathy. How do we defeat him? How do we defeat the militia of apathy? With the greatest force known to us, love. I know what you're thinking, love. Come on, really? Well, let me put it this way. What if I told you that what's happening now will cost the lives of everyone you love? It's happening. Inequality affects people that you love every day of their life. What do we do about it? How do we stop apathy? How do we defeat it? Easy. When the time comes, we choose to speak up. Speaking up isn't easy, I know. But it's not that complicated either. You only need two things: a reason and a voice. And today, we're going to give you both of those. Let's start with reason. For the purpose of this, imagine we own a factory together. All our staff are animals, cats and dogs, half-half. We're running this factory, and I make all the decisions. I got the factory, and it came with a dog's course. We've been running it. As you can imagine, the cats are struggling. Some of the cats did okay. Other cats adapted. Took them a while, but they adapted. Some of them even excelled, did better than the dogs. But it wasn't right. I wasn't okay with it. So I changed something. I thought, let's try something different. Everything stayed the same, except I changed the course. Now it's a cat's course. Of course, dogs, not the fans. Most of the dogs struggled. They coped, adapted, some even excelled. But I was left with the same problem, same issue, same feelings. So I changed it again. I used what I learned from the past experience to create something I called the equalizer loop. So the animals, every time they completed the course, still made us $1. We're still winning, but this time when you got to the loop, you chose one or the other. There are two circuits. One side had all the things that cats do, like climb trees, that dogs aren't made for, and they hate it. The other side had the dog thing, like swimming, that cats hate and aren't made for. You run the course, and the animal got to the loop, they pick one or the other, they complete that, they finish the loop. Guess what? Heaps more dollars made. We're winning. On top of that, a happy staff is a more productive staff. We're making even more dollars. But the best part was I could finally go to work and feel like we're in a place that we like. Everyone's happy here. It's a nice place to work. Aretha Franklin, 34 years ago, sang a song called Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. Girls got to work then. They got a job. They came off the bench. But until then, to now, and all this time, we've run the girls through the boys' courses. They came off the bench to play the boys' game with the boys' outfit, in the boys' way, by the boys' rules. And all that time, we stayed quiet. We stayed silent, fed apathy. He grew up. All this time, no one changed the course. All this time, we were accomplices to the suppression of half of our world. How do we beat him? We speak up. Abby Wambach. She's a legendary soccer player in America, highest goals ever scored, ever by anyone. She contributes to this larger conversation. She brought us a Wolfpack concept. There are many wolves out there. All these girls fighting for us to grow. If we keep some of us down, we keep all of us down. We are growing because of these wolves. The wolves have been forging, fighting, glowing, making this path that has got us here. But all this time, there is no course. You can build a wheel, you can give it friction to move, but if you have no course to run it, it goes nowhere. All this time, no one thought to change the course. All this time, it really didn't make any difference. Meanwhile, the little boy Apathy, he grew up. But times are changing. We are in a very hopeful time. You are in a very hopeful time. You can make that difference. You can do this thing that we want done, which is finding the moment to speak up. A long, tall prophecy of empathy. She's born again, and she's growing up fast. Some say she's grown and raised by the wolves. Now, I give you the voice. I give you an example. I give you a wolf. Her name is Jacinda Barclay. You heard that she is being called a lot of things. Today I call her a wolf, but she's being called the #1 multi-sport female athlete of Australia. She's being called the Sonny Bill Williams of the women's sporting world. But her greatest achievement is not these things. It's to survive. It's to struggle and survive what she had to get those titles. You see, the titles aside, when you look into the details that most people don't know, you get to appreciate the true glory of the warriors that are fighting for us. For example, the baseball girls, she was top of 3 codes: AFLW, baseball for Australia, and NFL in America. Let's just take the baseball girls. They could have put down a deposit for a house instead of using all that money to get to play for Australia. Now, at 14, Jacinda was told, you can't play AFL anymore, or HMS, you're a dog. It didn't stop her. It made her look for more. She knew she wanted sport. She was good. She was an athlete. She wanted to know, how good is she? How far can I go? Found herself in America, got herself there, by herself, got herself all the way to Chicago, and tried out for a tryout that she organized for herself. She was good. They liked what they saw, but they had no position for her. You see, there's no money in the league. So she came back. And as soon as Australia had a league for NFL, she joined it promptly. Played for Sydney, became the quarterback, became the MVP that led them to win the tournament. Soon after, Chicago decided to hire her now. They wanted her back. They wanted her to be their quarterback. She went, she saw, she conquered. The critiques ranked her as top 3 quarterback. They predicted, as predicted, she took them to the finals and won. But see, again, in detail, the story gets much more interesting. Jacinda never expected to win the MVP from this organization because this organization and her butted heads from the day she walked in there, because she was not happy with what they were doing to this sport. This glorious sport was being used, the proponent of sex was used to sell, instead of celebrating the skill and the athlete and the professionalism and the skill. And she fought them. They made millions. They didn't pay the girls. The players got paid 0. Conditions were so set up to keep the girls in line. Unacceptable conditions. She fought them all the way through. She tried to make the evolution happen. The management was very oppressive. They were very short and hard on coming down. So what did she do? Evolution was not going to happen. She started a revolution. She held her sisters together. She decided, we are going to make this happen. She made a pact with them. At the grand final, where millions of dollars are at stake, they will strike. They will change the organization. They agreed. But it wasn't easy. It took her all season to study, all season to convince. She had to make the girls understand. You see, most of these girls have not anything but this league. This is a get-out-of-jail-free card for them. They have not known anything in their whole life. They're pre-adult, their adult life. But she had to convince them. She had to become the matriarch who educated them, who taught them what was. The fact that there was no money in it, there is no future in it. They lied to you, they give you nothing. But she got there at the end, she thought. The finals day came, but before the finals day, management got hold of this. They weren't happy. They needed it to go away. They needed to squash it. Whether they destroyed Jacinda or whether they pulled her back into line, didn't matter. They just needed it gone. So they started with publicly shaming her. They forced her as a quarterback to apologize for allegedly some player saying something about the Australian League being forced close. Soon after, they took an opportunity, gross neglect as an organization, thank God, to not provide the visa for their represented athlete so that when JB went through the airport, she will get arrested. She got arrested. She literally spent a day in jail. They didn't care. They actually thought this would destroy her culture. Did neither. It actually made her more convicted that this revolution of what is so wrong has to happen. The day came, the day of the reckoning. On this day, they were playing the finals. They had the plan. They went in there. It was one of the worst yet. It was an arena that used to be a rodeo. And the players' changing room was literally where the animals got washed down. This is the install. This is the final straw she brought. Clearly, the girls understand what I've been teaching you. Clearly, we have this right. She went to the spot where she's supposed to meet all the girls. Not one player showed up. Management had got to the players. They had threatened them into submission, to being silent. Apathy won again. JB had to decide. She's always been a quick decider. She had to decide on that spot what she's going to do. She decided she will be a professional today. She will be better, a teammate today. She will lead them as the quarterback. She will take them in and one last time showcase the ability of these wonderful players and the skill of this sport. She did. She gave them a hell of a game. They won. But this day, they lost her. You see, in this chapter of her life, she found a voice, and she used it. She lodged a protest against the organization, management, the league, and the one owner profiteer against not paying the bills, the conditions that they're meeting, etc., etc. She said, I will not play under this organization ever again until all these things are fixed. She left, ranked top 3 of all time. Came back to Australia, a fallen hero. But time would have it. AFLW gave us something right at that time. Right at that time, AFLW had moved up their tournament 3 years ahead of time. Some wolves around, a lot of support around, And AFL, along with a lot of our sports in Australia, all of the sporting courts have been redefining, addressing inequality, and through sport, we've been shown that it's successful, that it works. If we can see these stats here, again, check the numbers, feed them later, but come back to the story, because I got more imagination for you. That shows how AFL is kicking off. So is all the other courts. We are addressing the problem, because finally, we have this place where there is a podium where the female athlete is not supposed to feel grateful just to show up and get to play, but finally being respected as a professional athlete, the way it should have always been. But we can see that the future is bright. We can see that this is going somewhere. But it's important that you understand, no one is born a warrior. We choose to be one when we speak up. This is my mark, right here, right now. I do this for my loved ones. I make a little scratch in the big story, in the eternal story. When it comes time to telling yours, what do you want said about you? What would you have done? I will give you the reason. I will give you the reason. For your grandmother who lived and suffered inequality. For your mother who lives and suffers inequality. Do it. Speak up. And for your sister, your lover, your partner, your dear friend, who may not have to, if you do, speak up. And for future, for your daughters, for your granddaughters, find your voice. Know your reason. Speak up. Empathy grows. Let us grow her. Let us fight for her. Let her make her strong enough so that she can rule. And when she finally meets apathy, she will finally give him a reason to care. He will forget about his indifference, and we will all live happily ever after. At this time, I would like to acknowledge a wolf among us. My reason for being up here, my love, my pride, Jacinda Barclay.
On behalf of all the cats and the wolves, and for all that you are going to do, we thank you.
Thank you, guys.